Welcome back, Virgo. Thank you for joining me today for your May 2020 ASMR Tarot Forecast. So today I have my smoky quartz crystal. I have this beautiful fluorite wand, and I also have, just in case we need a yes or no answer, my tourmalated quartz pendulum. We'll be using the Heindel Tarot, which I did purchase while I was in New Orleans. It was a couple of years ago, almost 3 years ago now. It was when I was on my way out here. I'm going to be doing the 12 house spread again this month. I feel like it is a good way to get a well-rounded picture of what our lives look like right now and stay true to the idea of doing general readings. I do recommend checking out your moon and rising signs as well. And that way you can really get the full picture, the full effect. Oh, we're splitting cards. What do we have here? We got Strength. We have the Prince of Cups. We have the Ten of Wands. I wonder if this will come up later. Virgo. I do have a lot of Virgo in my chart, and I'm a Virgo rising. My son's a Virgo. I will also be using Pixie's Astounding Lenormand, which is, it's basically a collaged deck from work by Pamela Coleman Smith, who you may know from the Rider-Waite deck. They've done a very good job with these cards. I don't have fancy cleansing spray today. I have plain potable water. It's still a very valuable substance, and it's a good time of year to stay hydrated. All right. The first house is the house of beginnings, governed by the fire sign Aries. It's a choice that you have to make. It's the Two of Swords, and they are calling it peace at the bottom. I don't know if it's peace as much as it is truce. But more so than that, it's a choice that you're going to have to make between two options. To make sure I shuffle them very well. All right. So we've got the lady. We've got the ship, and we've got the rider. Looks like you have news of this lady coming from afar. This doesn't have to be a lady. I mean, it could be a very femme person. Somebody that maybe you've known from the past and you're going to be reunited with. And there's going to be a choice that you have to make in regards to your relationship with them. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It could be any kind of relationship. Alright, the second house is the house of possessions, and it's ruled by Taurus, which is a fixed earth energy. And that is the King of Swords in reverse. So the King of Swords is very much about having dominion over your, having a silver tongue, being a diplomat, and maybe you feel like you're going to need to do that in regards to your possessions sometime soon, so that you aren't doing that yet, or maybe you felt like you had to do that. We got a jumper, we got a live one. What is this? It's the house. Could be your home life that you're trying to protect, or that you in the past have felt like you needed to protect. We have the key, so you having access to things maybe you haven't before. And the sun. Yeah, so I get the feeling that you're going to have access to things you didn't before, and because of that, you're going to get a really good outcome from your ability to act as a diplomat in certain situations. All right. We have the third house, which is Gemini. We have the Prince of Stones, or the Knight of Pentacles. And this is somebody who really kind of spends money freely, but maybe for you, money is more of money's like a dialect that you speak in. The dialect of American capitalism, maybe. Let's find out more about that. We have the moon. Moon is all about artistic endeavors. The stars. And the bear. So your power lies in being able to move the moon and the stars whenever and for whomever you want. The fourth house is your home and family life. It's ruled by Cancer. And it's the Three of Wands reversed. So you're waiting for some ships to come in. You're waiting for something, and it won't be happening in May. You're going to have to wait either another month or 2. There's no way to know, but it's coming, just not in May. All right. We have here the garden. So make sure you're tending your garden. That means the people you surround yourself with. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with good people. The food that you're putting into your body, where you live, how you live, your environment. Tend your garden. Gentleman. Gentleman in the garden. Loyal gentleman has entered your garden. Interesting. You're waiting for that, perhaps. All right. The fifth house is the house that Leo governs. And it is the house of creativity and romance. And it's the Sun, which is a really great card to get in this position. It is a Leo card. And relating to your creativity and your passions and your romance. They are very much like the rose being fed by the light of the sun. All right, luck, that's good. An ending to something that can be good. And we have something that you've been cultivating for a very long time. So now it is coming to fruition. The coffin is an ending, but it could be an ending to struggle, could be an ending to any number of things. It's your card, Virgo. Daily life and your health. And it's the Seven of Swords reversed. So maybe you've overcome a situation with your health recently in which you had to really fight. In the Rider-Waite deck, it's a figure standing alone at the top of a hill and surrounded on all sides by attacking forces. Could be your health, or it could be even your daily routines being under attack. Yeah, well, I see trouble ahead, so this might also be something that hasn't happened yet. I do see the cross, so there will be divine intervention. And the book, there's going to be secrets. There are secrets being kept about this situation. Here we have the 7th house, governed by Libra. Some of you might be Libra rising as well. This is about your partnerships, marriage, partnership, and also open enemies and court cases. And it is the 7 of Stones, which they're calling in this deck failure. And to me, the 7 of Pentacles is the you should quit your job card. So if you are in a partnership with somebody and it's like a business partnership, or if you are in a relationship where money is kind of a big issue between the two of you, or a big part of your relationship, it might be time to cut your losses. Or I sense that you're feeling dissatisfaction. It could also be a court case that is kind of not going in your favor. We have the Child. There could be some immaturity there or some innocence. If it's a court case, maybe you're innocent and you're being wrongly prosecuted. I have the Snake here, so Child versus the Snake. I think we know who's going to be on the losing end of that. And the Anchor. So this is a firmly rooted situation. It's going to be difficult to work your way out of it, unfortunately. And I do get the sense, the 7th house is all about balance and making things equal between two people, and when there's money involved, it's very difficult to do that. Let's just pluck some of that negative energy out. And that seems like a pretty specific situation, I have to say. 8th house, death, sex, and other people's resources. And there we have the 8 of Stones, and it's reversed. So this could actually be a new career coming in for you. As it relates to other people's resources. And it won't be happening in May, but it will be coming around the corner, possibly. This could also be an ending, so we'll have to clarify and find out for sure. But also be wary, because down here, one of the stones isn't really a stone, it's a bubble. And if that bursts, you're left with 7 stones. So then you have the 7 of Pentacles. What is this? The Scythe. So cutting out things that no longer benefit you, being true to your heart, and an obstacle that you're going to have to overcome. But you're going to be true to yourself, and you're going to cut things out that no longer serve you. This is the 9th house. It's all about higher education and travel, anything you do to elevate your vibration. And it's the 8 of Cups. Now, they're also calling the 8 of Cups failure, which they've already called the 7 of Stones failure. But the 8 of Cups is very different. It's all about walking away from something that could have easily been a success. but for whatever reason, you decide not to see it through all the way to the end. So it's not really a failure on your part. If anything, it's a failure on the part of others involved in that situation to see your value and keep you around. And it's in the reverse here. So maybe there was a trip you were supposed to take, that you were planning to take, and now it is having to be canceled. But let's find out some more about it. So the tower in Lenormand is very different from the tower in the typical tarot deck, in that in the Lenormand deck, it's actually is about control and being able to see situations from an advantage point. We have the lilies, which speak to a need for purity and innocence. And we have the bouquet, which could be an amorous gesture or a gift. Could be a flirtation. So I think maybe somebody's being flirtatious with you, or you're being flirtatious with them, but the other person's kind of a prude. And as that relates to this Eight of Cups situation here, maybe the other person left and has been quite some distance away, and now maybe they're returning. That's kind of the sense that I get because of this other situation over here. The 10th house. Ruled by Capricorn, it's all about your career. And we have the Mother of Swords in the south, which is like the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is a very cutthroat individual, unscrupulous, not afraid to be a little backstabby to get what she wants. And I guess it's appropriate that note would be on there just as much as it would be appropriate if Vasset was on there. You know, Queen of Swords isn't always negative, but it is in the reverse here. So this could be you. This could be somebody who's working against you in your career. We have a letter with news coming in. We have the Whip. It's about discipline. And we have the mice. So the mice are on this banquet table, right? And it's important to remember that, you know, 4 mice are not going to devour an entire banquet. But when you pick up one of these little grapes to take a bite, and it's already got little rodent teeth marks in it, or you go to drink from one of these goblets and there's rodent dandruff and possibly flea carcasses floating on top of it because rats have taken over your banquet table, it takes away from the experience. So the mice card is about people nibbling away at you, at your resources, at your happiness. And I really get the sense that there's one person in particular who is doing this in your sector of career. The 11th house. The 11th house is all about your psychic states and your psychological states. Everything that's going on between your eyes. and that house is governed by Aquarius. We have the Four of Wands, which is perfection. Now, this can be a marriage card, but it's also just a completion card. It's kind of like a happily ever after, with the idea that because it's a 4, there will be, you know, a continuation of the storyline after that. It's not a completion, it's just kind of like, oh, this happened and it was so great, you know. Do have the ring, so that definitely, for some of you, you've got marriage on the brain, or you are thinking of asking someone to marry you. A little bird might have told me. And the fish is money. So one thing that I see here throughout this reading is that you don't have to worry about money. I'm sure that's not going to be true for every single Virgo that I'm reading for, but there's definitely people who are watching this video who really are not in financial straits in the month of May, which is good. I mean, I'm happy that, you know, you're not struggling right now. So, you know, there's just other interpersonal issues, and I do see like some career stuff going on that is going to need to be dealt with. But not career ending. Just, you know, maybe this job isn't right for you sort of stuff. Alright. And then the final card of the reading, which is your 12th house, House of Endings, and governed by Pisces, another mutable sign, mutable water sign. And it is the King of Wands reversed. The King of Wands reversed in this position could very much mean that you're going to straighten right out, but it's not going to happen in May. Typically, King of Wands in the reverse is all of these creative energies kind of being used in a phase. So either you're spending too much time online, you're chasing romantic partners, you're, you know, just kind of smoking weed all day and playing video games. There's nothing wrong with that within reason. But just keep in mind, you have a very important choice to make, heralding back to the beginning of this reading. You have a very important choice to make. I think it does regard a person in particular. We do have the fox here, which means there's cunning involved. We did have the snake over here too, so I think you really need to be careful during this time, Virgo. Really need to tighten it up just a little bit. But we do have the stork, which is about meetings, plans, blessings coming into your life. That's why they bring babies. This is not a terrible reading, but there is a lot of energy here about needing to figure out who your friends are and who to keep around you. Really see here what you want is a loyal gentleman friend. Could be just a masculine person, and that you're going to be waiting for that for a little bit longer in May. And then, but that's fine. That'll give you some time to sort all the rest of this stuff out. And don't ignore it. Don't just ignore it. not the boss of you. You can do whatever you want. But I do these readings because I'm hoping that, I know readings online help me a lot when I'm figuring out how to move forward with my life. So I would hope that the same would be true for you. Thank you so much for joining me, Virgo. I really am glad to see you again. If it's your first time here, I'm glad to see you again too. And I will be doing mid-month readings starting in May, but I will not be using cards. I'll be crystal scrying for the mid-month readings. And I do have some other videos planned as well. So some of the other stuff that I put up, it's going to be better than that. It's going to be a little bit more every time. Thank you so much again, and I will see you for the mid-month readings. Bye.